tonight is a little primetime housekeeping update. People always ask me, why we never have certain people on the show? Usually I can give them an answer, but Carol from Appleton, Wisconsin texted me last week and asked this, Jesse, you always talk about RFK Jr., why don't you ever have him on? Well, that's a question that I don't have an answer to, Carol. Primetime was one of the first to cover his run against Biden. And even though he's a Democrat, we saw a lot of things eye to eye, like the CIA possibly involved in his uncle's assassination. I even read his book about Fauci. The whistle's go. So Primetime invited RFK Jr. on day one of his campaign. We were told we'd be the second interview, and then third, and then fourth, and so on and so on. And 2 months later, he's going on 6 different Fox shows. He's going on Newsmax. He's going on Breitbart. He's going on CNN, ABC, dozens of podcasts that we've, frankly, never heard of. Now, a lot of these are great shows, and we don't begrudge these shows for booking him. But I'm starting to feel like RFK doesn't like me.
I like turtles.
Something's happened. It's never happened to me in my entire career. I'm taking something personally. Is it me, Bobby? I mean, if it is, just tell me. But I'm left with no other choice. In order to defend the honor of this show, Primetime is hereby rescinding our invitation to RFK Jr. We didn't want to do it, but we were forced to. And not only has the invitation been rescinded, RFK Jr. has been slapped with a blanket ban too. Well, how long is this ban going to be in place? Well, that's for me and for me only to decide. But at least I have a show for people to decline interviews to, because Chuck Todd doesn't even have that anymore.
I have a personal announcement. While today is not my final show, this is going to be my final summer here at Meet the Press. But the key to survival of any of these incredible media entities, including here at Meet the Press, is for leaders not to overstay their welcome. I'd rather leave a little bit too soon than stay a tad bit too long.
Chuck Todd thinks he's leaving too soon. Oh man, imagine if Chuck Todd's guests came on this show. It would change the course of the country. Hey, Senator, why do you want men changing in your daughter's locker rooms? Mr. Secretary, do you drive an electric car? Mr. President, why do you keep calling everybody racist? Well, Chuck Todd turned Meet the Press into a safe space for the most powerful people in America. And guess what happened? Powerful people never had to answer for anything, and people stopped watching the show. Meet the Press used to be legit. Here's the former moderator, Tim Russert.
You were both with Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go on.
Sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
First of all, he's not the nominee.
And unlike Chuck, Russert used to hit both sides.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us? Not much, because it's a secret. Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code? I wish there were something secret I could manifest. 322, a secret number? There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
Meet the Press used to cover what Chuck Todd today would call conspiracy theory. Do you think Chuck would ask Kerry a secret society question? Chuck Todd doesn't even know Hunter's laptop's real. But what did that Tim Russert question tell you? What was Tim Russert getting on? In 2004, it didn't matter if Bush or Kerry won the election. At the end of the day, Skull and Bones was going to have their guy in the White House. This takes me back to Barney Miller.
What is the Trilateral Commission? It's an organization founded in 1973 by David Rockefeller to bring together business and political leaders from the United States, Europe, Japan, so they could work together for... that's what they'd like us to believe. But you see, what they're really up to is a scheme to plant their own loyal members in positions of power in this country. And in time, bring about a one-world government with David Rockefeller calling the shots. Everybody thought it was going to be Ford for Veep. You know what happened? David Rockefeller just picked up a phone, put in a call. Hey, Ronnie, forget Jerry, it's George. Bob.
And once you cover politics for a while, you realize the presidents aren't the powerful ones. It's the people who put the presidents in the White House. They're the powerful ones. Now, we've always known politicians are puppets. Joe Biden confessed it to a group of kids.
I heard you had to get back to the Oval Office.
And by the way, the one thing I thought when I got to be president, I get to give orders. But I take more orders than I ever did, and you're right.
Powerful people installed Biden so that he can take orders, not give them. Joe Biden's been groomed his whole career to take orders. And now that he's literally slept his way to the top, they won't let him go anywhere. The FBI put their guy in the White House. You think we're just going to, let voters decide if he should serve 4 more years? We can't afford to take that risk. Joe Biden's been an intelligence op since he was vice president. One of the FBI's top informants, a guy with impeccable credentials, a great track record, reported an allegation that Joe Biden took a $5 million bribe right under Barack Obama's nose from a foreign national in exchange for a policy decision. They've been blackmailing Joe Biden with this for a decade. Well, until a whistleblower came forward. And now James Comer wants a document released to Congress, and the FBI's caught in a cover-up.
Today, FBI officials confirmed that the unclassified FBI-generated record has not been disproven and is currently being used in an ongoing investigation. The confidential human source who provided information about then Vice President Biden being involved in a criminal bribery scheme is a trusted, highly credible informant who has been used by the FBI for over 10 years and has been paid over 6 figures.
Now, if the media wasn't so corrupt, they'd be banging the drums for impeachment. Think about it. The media doesn't even want to know about the document. The media doesn't want information. What does that tell you? Instead, the press remains silent, and everybody involved in the Biden scandal disappears.
9 of the 10 people that we've identified that have very good knowledge with respect to the Bidens, they're one of 3 things, Maria. They're either currently in court, they're currently in jail, or they're currently missing.
So all of Biden's business partners are either in prison or missing. Whistleblowers have been fired or missing. Hunter Biden's accountant's dead, natural causes. And the woman who accused Joe Biden of sexual assault fled the country.
That's a lot of damage!
Meanwhile, Hunter throws a wedding for his daughter at the White House, and Joe takes his crooked brother golfing at Andrews Air Force Base. Biden's out there slicing fairway irons right into the woods, while his brother sets up LLCs to hide Chinese money. It's like Camelot, with a lot of greed and little prestige. Doesn't matter, though. Joe's an insider. The Bidens have been insiders for 40 years. Washington does not destroy insiders. It protects them, and it enriches them, as long as they stay insiders.
So uncivilized.
You fail up on the inside, and no one's failed up more than Joe Biden. That's why anybody threatening Washington insiders is treated like a terrorist. Take Trump. He was smeared as a traitor, wasn't supposed to win, but he did. And that's when the insurance policy kicked in. A ruthless war on his presidency from within. An unfair re-election, and now a savage legal campaign to put him in prison. So, another outsider will never even think about threatening Washington again. James Comey and MSNBC, they're already fantasizing about the plot.
It's this crazy world that Donald Trump has dragged this country into, but he could be wearing an ankle bracelet while accepting the nomination at the Republican convention.
And could be wearing an ankle bracelet and be elected in November.
Yeah, we could have, it would be rejected if you put it in a script for a show, but you could have a president who is potentially incarcerated when he's elected president, so that would be weird and awkward.
They want Trump arrested, not to protect the rule of law, but to prevent him from getting revenge. They even admit it's personal. Listen.
Think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies. I'm sure I'm on the enemies list. It seems like science fiction in a way,